Welcome back. The newest contract for President Trump's border wall is getting some big criticism, mainly for its price tag.
And we're talking about $1.3 billion for 42 miles of fencing. Our chief investigative reporter Morgan Lowe traveled to the part of the border where this barrier is set to go up and asked a very simple question. Is it worth the money?
Most of southern Arizona's border with Mexico already has some sort of wall or barrier. What's left are the most remote parts of the desert. They don't get a lot of immigrant traffic because they're hard to get to, and they're going to be expensive for construction crews to access. We are driving south down a dirt road through some rugged terrain with breathtaking views, following a local rancher toward the Arizona border with Mexico. The road becomes a trail. We walk through a narrow gate and a barbed wire fence, up a hill, and we are literally on the border.
The border fence is actually just a little to our right, and all it is a 4-strand barbed wire fence.
Dan Bell ranches this land, and he says the lack of a real barrier has caused problems for him and his cattle. Cut fences and damaged water lines are just two of them. Do you think that this area needs a wall?
I think that it's definitely going to be helpful. What I think is going to be more helpful is the roads that come along with it. But the infrastructure that comes along with that border wall is going to allow agents to actually patrol along the border.
This area is slated to get the next section of President Trump's controversial border wall. But the remoteness and the rugged terrain present a real barrier to building the barrier. This is how the construction company that won the contract normally builds stretches of wall. Heavy machinery lifting prefab sections make it look easy. But imagine trying to do that here in these canyons and on the sides of these steep mountains. The price tag is now more than $30 million per mile. This is what $30 million a mile looks like. That's what they're charging.
Yeah, I didn't know that figure until you just mentioned it out here, but that's a lot.
Critics say it's too much and it's not necessary in an area this remote.
We're talking about blasting and bulldozing some of the most rugged places on the U.S.-Mexico border to build a wall. And again, these are places that no one is really crossing to start with.
Laken Jordahl works with the Center for Biological Diversity, which is suing the Trump administration over border wall construction. He has documented the effect of construction on the environment and wildlife.
The Trump administration for this project has waived every relevant environmental and cultural resource protection law. So they are moving forward with no analysis of the harms this project would cause.
Questions have also surfaced about the company that won the contract for this stretch of construction. Fisher Sand and Gravel is getting paid $1.3 billion for 42 miles of barrier. The company's CEO is a Trump favorite, but its last contract is under review by the Defense Department Inspector General after allegations of improper influence by the White House. Fisher did not respond to our questions.
The agenda of the wall has always been political.
Arizona Congressman Raul Grijalva believes the president is pushing wall construction through as quickly as possible because of the upcoming election. And he says there's no proof walls in the wilderness work.
Is it really going to have the zero deterrent that has been advertised by the administration, that this will stop everything?
Where we've got the infrastructure, the road systems, the technology, the border wall systems, that's where we've seen the biggest improvement.
Rancher Dan Bell says he's seen the positive effects of the barrier on other parts of his ranch. So people might look at this and say, we're going to spend $30 million a mile to keep trespassers off of your ranch. Do you look at it that way?
I don't look at it that way at all. But I will tell you that the infrastructure that has been put in has made things a lot safer for us out here.
One final factor affecting the price tag. Last month, President Trump decided he wanted the border wall painted black. That's an extra $1.2 million per mile. In southern Arizona, I'm Morgan Lowe for Arizona's Family.